Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zachary, back bringing you guys some more daily NBA recaps, highlights, and news. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, but with all of that being said, we have quite a bit to talk about today, so let's not waste too much time. Let's get right into this. Let's go. Starting off the day with a little bit of news, and this news is regarding Dallas Mavericks second-year point guard Dennis Smith Jr. As yesterday, we got quite a few reports out regarding Dennis Smith Jr. and the Dallas Mavericks' efforts to trade him. Now, earlier on in the season, we did get initial reports out saying that the Dallas Mavericks were open to the idea of trading away Dennis Smith Jr. However, as of late, they're no longer just open to the idea of trading away Dennis Smith Jr., but it seems like they really want to trade Dennis Smith Jr. as we got reports out from Adrian Wojnarowski saying that the Dallas Mavericks are escalating discussions to find a trade for point guard Dennis Smith Jr. And with the Phoenix Suns and Orlando Magic already having engaged the Dallas Mavericks about a possible trade for Dennis Smith Jr. However, we also got reports out not too much longer saying that the Detroit Pistons have also gotten into the mix about a possible Dennis Smith Jr. trade. Now, as far as what the Dallas Mavericks are hoping to get out of this, first off, they want a deal for Dennis Smith Jr. that includes moving Wesley Matthews' contract so they can avoid paying him the $18.6 million that he is owed. And the reason Dallas is already looking to move Dennis Smith Jr., well, it's perceived to be for a couple of reasons. The first is because of his on-court fit with Luka Doncic, as the team does not believe that the two of them will be able to coexist long-term. And not only that, but it is rumored to believe that head coach of the Dallas Mavericks, Rick Carlisle, is frustrated with Dennis Smith Jr.'s playmaking abilities and his decision-making. So essentially, they're saying that DSJ doesn't mesh with Luka and he doesn't mesh with the head coach, Rick Carlisle. So the obvious answer is to try and trade away Dennis Smith Jr. I really want to know what you guys think about this though. Do you think that the Dallas Mavericks really should trade away Dennis Smith Jr.? And if they do, Phoenix, Orlando, or Detroit, which one is the most likely? And also, which one is the best fit? Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. So Iman Shumpert is in the NBA news for the first time actually in quite some time. I seriously can't remember the last time I talked about Iman Shumpert on this channel. Anyways, yesterday, during the Sacramento Kings vs Portland Trailblazers game, Iman Shumpert got hit with the screen by Jusuf Nurkic early on that sent him to the ground, and Iman Shumpert wasn't too happy about it. Matter of fact, Iman Shumpert was so unhappy about the screen set by Jusuf Nurkic that after the game, he was still trying to confront Jusuf Nurkic about the screen. And even during the game, there would be times where Iman Shumpert was trying to bark at Jusuf Nurkic even when Jusuf Nurkic was on the bench. And Shumpert after this game simply said that he and Jusuf Nurkic needed to have a discussion, that stuff happened on the court that wasn't cool and the two of them needed to air things out about it. However, Jusuf Nurkic said that he wasn't interested in talking to Iman Shumpert about what happened during the game, saying that he's not going to waste his time talking about someone who's going to be out of the league eventually facing retirement, basically saying that Iman Shumpert is so irrelevant that he's not going to waste his time on him. However, the real story comes when we got reports saying that Iman Shumpert had to be escalated by security as he was trying to enter the Portland Trailblazers locker room. But Shumpert afterwards claimed that this wasn't true, as he took to Twitter to say that these were false accusations and that we shouldn't believe everything that we see on the internet. Also, he did want to issue an apology to all Sacramento Kings fans, saying that it wasn't a big deal and he's just happy that the Sacramento Kings got a win over an established Portland Trailblazers team. Now, whether this is an attempt by the media to escalate the situation to make it seem bigger than it was, or an attempt by Iman Shumpert to downgrade the situation so he doesn't get in further trouble by the NBA for attempting to enter another team's locker room, we may never know, but in the end, it's Iman Shumpert. It's not the biggest deal. So we got some bad news for any Houston Rockets fans out there. The team that has already been without Chris Paul for like the past 10-ish games, and now they're also about to be without their starting center as well. As Adrian Wojnarowski reported yesterday that Clint Capela has ligament damage in his thumb and will be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Now, it goes without saying that this is a huge blow for the Houston Rockets. Once again, they're already without Chris Paul, and now will be without Clint Capela for at least the next month, and Clint Capela is a guy who should really be getting more attention for what he's been able to do for the Houston Rockets so far this season, averaging 17 points, 12 rebounds, and just about 2 blocks per game. So it'll be interesting to see how James Harden and the Houston Rockets manage without Clint Capela for about the next month, considering they are in the Western Conference, and the Western Conference this season seems to be even more unforgiving than it has been in many years when you look at the standings. That does it for all of the actual news that we gotta cover from yesterday though, so now let's just take a quick look at what happened in the games from last night. And the first game that we have to take a look at today is the Houston Rockets defeating the Memphis Grizzlies 112-94, and in this game, James Harden passed Kobe Bryant as the player since the NBA-ABA merger to have the most consecutive 30-plus point games. James Harden and Kobe Bryant coming into this game were tied with a streak of 16 30-plus games, and James Harden in the first half beat that, as he had, I believe, 36, 37, or 38 points in halftime and finished the game with 57 points. So James Harden is now the record holder for the most consecutive 30-plus point games since the NBA-ABA merger. And after the game, James Harden was asked, how do you have a performance like this after coming off that performance where you went 1 of 17 from 3 against the Orlando Magic? And James Harden says that the Orlando Magic simply got lucky and that's all there was to it, basically saying that he will never have another performance where he goes 1 of 17 from 3. And if he would have hit 5 or even 6 of those 3-pointers that he took against the Orlando Magic, that he easily would have had a 60-point game and the Houston Rockets would have got the win. Our next game of the day gives us the Brooklyn Nets getting the win over the Boston Celtics 109-107. Now, for Boston, we do have to note that there was no Kyrie Irving and no Marcus Smart, so they were a bit handicapped here. But Jason Tatum did try and step up with 34 points, as well as Jaylen Brown tried to step up with 22 points, but it still wasn't enough, as D'Angelo Russell and his 34 points plus the huge third quarter from the Brooklyn Nets got the Brooklyn Nets the pretty easy win. Now, the final score once again was only 109-107, but in order to get that score, the Boston Celtics did have to try and do a lot of comebacking in the fourth quarter, and the Boston Celtics just couldn't come all the way back. However, in the fourth quarter, we did start to hear some chants from Brooklyn Nets fans saying that Kyrie Irving is leaving. They were chanting that a lot, and this has of course to do with all of the discord that's been happening with the Boston Celtics ever since the beginning of the season, really. And then Kyrie Irving, as of late, starting to become more vocal about what's wrong with this team, saying that everyone just has to play better and that this team as a whole just doesn't know what it takes to win a championship yet. Next up though, the Los Angeles Clippers found themselves the victims of Anthony Davis last night, 121-117. That was the final score after Anthony Davis lit up the Los Angeles Clippers for 46 points and 16 rebounds. The guy is not human, and when he has a game like this, there is absolutely nothing the opposing team can do but hope and pray. Tony Parker just played his first game back in San Antonio since he left the Spurs to join the Hornets this summer, and it was a very touching reunion, as I'm sure you could guess. Every fan of the arena was cheering. Tony Parker seemed happy, the Spurs players seemed happy, Greg Popovich seemed happy, everyone was happy all the way up until the Spurs wound up losing to the Hornets 108-93. Tony Parker in this game did have 8 points, but of course it was Kemba Walker who did most of the heavy lifting with 33 points on the night. Next up though, like I said when talking about that whole Iman Shumpert versus Yusuf Nurkic incident, it was the Sacramento Kings who beat the Portland Trailblazers 115-107, despite Damian Lillard dropping 35 points, and that's mainly because of De'Aaron Fox and his 16 points and 9 assists, as well as Buddy Hield in his 19 points and Bogdanovich in his 18 points off the bench. And lastly for the day, the Utah Jazz for the second time this season got the win versus the Detroit Pistons. 100-94 was the final score in this one. Donovan Mitchell continues his great play as of late with 28 points, while Rudy Gobert was also a beast last night with 18 points and 25 rebounds. And now it is time that we get into the player of the day, the portion of the video where you guys get to vote for who you think was the best player in the league last night by clicking the little eye icon in the top right hand corner of the video. Just remember though, the only players whose team won are eligible to win Player of the Day. And yesterday, your Player of the Day was none other than Stephen Curry and his 48 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists in the Golden State Warriors win over the Dallas Mavericks. That is going to do it for everything that we gotta talk about today though, guys. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, then remember to destroy that like button, as well as make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with post notifications turned on so you can stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. Thank you once again for watching though. You guys already know that you are the real MVPs, but that being said, until tomorrow, I'm out of here. Peace!